Hi, everyone. Kate Byers, founder of the Good Life Institute and creator of the Corporate Women Unleashed program. Today, we want to talk about how to balance out or prioritize your private life when you are working an insane number of hours. And I want you to listen up because everyone gets this wrong. I got it wrong for decades. It's what created my burnout, and you need to tune in. All right. So welcome, everyone. If you are a highly successful woman, your life looks amazing on paper. You know what I mean, right? You have a career that everyone else it's enviable, right? You've been doing this for a while and you're like, this doesn't feel good. This is no longer fun. I'm not enjoying success. I'm barely surviving my success. Let's talk, okay? Because one of the things everyone is always asking, or what we're all trying to do, is how do I get my private life in there? How do I push my private life into the cracks and crevices of this very intense, huge career that takes, for a lot of us, it takes 60, 70, 80 hours to do your career, right? If you're a surgeon, you know what I'm talking about. If you're an executive, you know what I'm talking about, right? It is a lot of hours just to do your job. The average amount of hours an executive will work is 72 hours a week. That's normal. And that's when things are normal, right? And so how often do this crazy chaos come up? So one of the biggest fallacies that we all have, and if you are a high achiever, this is going to hit you upside the head more than anything, is that what we're trying to do is that get our arms around the hours and fix the hours. And then we're going to go live our life. Okay. And I want you to just write that down. It doesn't work. And you know that because you've been trying to do it for decades, right? You've been trying to do it for years. As soon as I get to the weekend, oh my gosh, we're going to go to the beach, and then we're going to play, and then we're going to have home cooked meals, and then we're going to have the neighbors over, and we're going to go, shopping for whatever, furniture, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to the weekend and you're face plant in your couch. It's all you can do to unwrap some Pop-Tarts for the kids instead of making something healthy. And none of that other stuff happens. Okay. The other thing we do is we say, oh, well, as soon as this project at work is over, then I'm going to get my life together. Yeah, I'm going to commit. I'm going to get on, the Bowflex equipment then or whatever, right? It's like Chris Pratt in Guardian of the Galaxy. He's like, I'm going to commit. I love that line. Or it's like as soon as the merger and acquisition, as soon as my team gets stronger, they're so junior. They need me right now, right? Or got this one person on my team, they're just not cutting it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to step in. I can't, stop. Okay. So that is not what successful, powerful women do if you want to actually enjoy your success. It is the recipe for burnout. It's the recipe for poor decision-making. It is the recipe to get passed over for leadership positions. It is the recipe to watch everyone else blow by you and enjoy their life and have higher level promotions and get promoted into, even increased levels of leadership while you're going, what the heck happened? Okay. This has to stop. Okay. And women, we are much more guilty of it than men. Men do it too. Okay. So it's not just a female thing. But we're much more guilty, is that right? Guilty of it, okay? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about what you want. You don't want time. I know you think you want time. You don't want time. You don't want time. Because this is why. How many of you have had time gifted to you? Do you know what I mean? You have this whole crazy weekend planned and then all of a sudden it rains and you can't go. Or whatever, your partner surprises you and says, hey, I'm going to grab the dogs, grab the kids, and I'm going to go out of town for the weekend. And you got the whole place to yourself. Whatever, or it's a couple hours in the afternoon. Hey, we're running late. You got a couple extra hours. We're not going to be home till later. How many times have you taken that time and gone, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with the whole weekend. I don't know what to do with an extra 2 hours. I don't know what to do with this hour that was just gifted to me. I don't know what to do now that it's raining and the plans were kiboshed. I should, be able to live well and snuggle into my house after this rainy day. And you have no clue. This used to happen to me not all the time, because you don't get those opportunities very often, but when it would happen frequently, when I was gifted time, the thing that I thought I needed so badly to balance out my life and prioritize my private life, you know what I did? I would just like sit and watch like reruns of Sex and the City, munching on like Little Debbie snack cakes and hating myself for not doing a workout. Like that is not it. How many times have you had more time with family members, these precious beings that we choose to live our life with, your partner, your children, your parents, your dog, whatever, and instead of like really doing something that's high quality, like getting on the floor and playing with those kiddos, or really canoodling with your partner, you're like, I'm going in the other room and reading Cosmo. Like you're just like, or, you spend that time griping at your family. Like you want to have this magical family day, but instead you're like, you didn't pick up your socks, and aren't you going to help me load the dishwasher? Time isn't it. Let's be honest, because when we have time, it doesn't always mean we're using it well. A lot of times we're so spun up that we don't use the time well. We're not used to having that time. Time is not the answer. Okay. You can, I'm not saying you should, but you can work 70, 80 hours a week fairly consistently and have a magical life and have a magical personal life. What, Kate? That's BS. Are you telling me to work 70, 80 hours a week? Nope, I'm not. I'm saying if that's what your job requires, or you need to go through a period of time in your job where that's what it's going to take to be you can have a really high quality life. Like when I started this company, for the first few years, I was still working in corporate, and I was getting the company going. Tell you what, I wasn't working a 40-hour week. That's for darn sure certain. I was in 2 completely different environments. And so I would do one environment during the day, and I would do the other environment at the night. That was not me going, oh, I have this wonderful work-life balance working 9 to 5 at all. And I don't know as an executive if I've ever just worked 9 to 5. I mean, sometimes I work 9 to 2, sometimes I work 8 to 6, sometimes I work from 7 in the morning till midnight. I mean, it just depends what's required at any one day, time, project, what's going on in front of you. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. So the difference is you have to understand what it is you're missing, truly missing, and that's what you're weaving in during your day. And this is one of the first things we teach our clients, which is, what are your needs? How do you meet them? Okay. And everything we do is based on human behavior. When you have a better understanding of yourself and how you're wired in your actual biology and psychology, you can hack that to have a glorious life. So I can work 80 hours a week, and I can do it for a fairly long period of time. Like I might take a month and go, I'm working 80 hours a week I'm going to work 7 days a week for an entire month. Does that mean I put my family on the shelf? I tell my husband, well, see you later. See you in a month. I stop working out and I start eating junk, and, I don't answer my phone or talk to my friends. No, all those things still happen, but they happen in a radically different way. Okay. So what you do is say, okay, what is it that I really want? What do I value in life? How do I meet my needs? Like I really value health. I like to be healthy. I like to work out. I like to get in a good sweat. I like to be strong, and I like to eat healthy, because especially when I'm in a sprint, I am going to be eating more fish and veggies than ever before. I am not going to be eating, pot roast and potatoes. I'm just not going to go for the comfort foods. Why? It's going to slow me down. I'm going to be sluggish. It's going to be harder to, keep my mind sharp and operating at work and at home the way I want. And I want a magical life, and I'm not willing to let a pot roast slow me down. Right. And so what I'm going to be doing is saying, okay, I'm working the sprint. It's a lot of hours right now. I'm going to eat cleaner. Now, I know we all want to nurture ourselves with cheesecake and wine and Debbie cut Little Debbie. My thing is Little Debbie's. Oh my God, give me a box of Little Debbie's. 5 minutes, they'll be gone. Like that is my stress go-to. So maybe it's M&Ms or chips or, whatever it is for you. So that's not what I'm doing. I am a high performance executive. You are a high performance executive, like a high performance athlete. Okay. So when you are in the trenches of, trying to come back from whatever, we got to win the Super Bowl and we're way back here and we're behind or whatever. then that is not the time to be eating pot roast. That is the time to be eating super clean. You can do that. Now, does that mean that you have to be the person going home and making those super clean meals? Nope. I think there's like 1,000 different ways we've all figured out how to eat super clean without you making it yourself. So just like, I'm not even going to give you those tips. You're a big girl, figure that out, right? The second thing is you probably want to have a strong connection with your family. I do. Now, I may not be, I don't know, wandering out to the neighborhood bunco meeting or whatever during that high intense period. That may be something that for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to have to skip bunco this month or whatever. But I am certainly going to be getting in high quality interactions with my children, for sure, and my spouse. Okay. And so that's something that you can do in a variety of ways. Like, it's so funny because a lot of clients, when they first start working with us, like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a date night with my husband forever. And I'm like, well, okay. So what does that mean? Like date night, how many date nights have you had where you set up the date night, you go out on the date and it sucks because it's been so long and there's so much pressure and you're like, it's going to be great. We're going to have it's like teenagers. And then you're just like, this is stupid. Like we would have had more fun if we were at home in our pajamas, watching a movie. So we put all this pressure on these moments that are just going to be so magical. It's just going to make up for all the weeks and weeks and weeks that we've ignored our partner. No, it's not. Because you can walk by your partner and give them a pinch on the tush. You can, send an emoji during the week that says how much I love you. You can just like stop for 2 seconds during the day and say, hey, I am into you. I care for you. And people don't understand, like, this is the type of thing that juices your biology. What happens when you juice your biology and your psychology? Any guesses? You feel great. You feel great. These are tiny little things I'm talking about. Eating clean and like telling your partner that you care, that keeps that connection strong. It keeps your body fueled, and it doesn't matter. Like, these are just strategies that I use that help me operating at peak performance. You're going to have some slightly different strategies because you have a different partner and you have a different biochemistry of what you need to eat. Like, I don't know, whatever, maybe you need to eat super clean vegan. Great. But my point being is, what I'm saying is we're not putting our life on the shelf and going over here to work 80 hours a week for a month, working 7 days a week, and then going, oh, now I have this thing called life, and then I'm going to run back over here. And I did that for years because I was always like, I have to have a clean slate. I have to have a clean desk. I have to get these things done. Prioritizing work, back 40 the life, and the life is always behind us. And that just doesn't work, does it? It makes you feel miserable. It makes you feel unfulfilled. It makes you feel resentful. It makes you feel bitter. It makes you feel angry. It makes you feel tired. It's tiring to live and operate that way. It's excruciating. So instead, what we have to do is we have to rewrite the code and say, wait a minute, I'm going to take a break in the middle of my day. I'm going to go 10 minutes late to that meeting. I'm going to put on some killer music. I'm going to dance around my office and nobody knows because this is a home office. Family's out there. Nobody's going to get to me. I can put my cell phone off. I can not have on the Zoom cameras and all that stuff. And I can jam out to music like anyone's business. And it's mine. This is my time, even if it's 5 minutes. Now, is that something you can do for the rest of your life? Like, this is all the alone time I ever get for the rest of my life is 10 minutes of dancing to music. No. What I'm saying is it's a conscious decision. I'm working the sprint for 8 months, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, whatever. And I'm getting my needs met. I'm getting some autonomy. That's my me time. It is not as glorious as checking into, a spa for a week. Of course, obviously, please do that as well when you can. But what I'm saying is I'm not holding my breath, putting my life on hold and going, oh, okay, I finished that work sprint. Now I can go live my life. I'm like, no, I got this. Oh, wait, something just exploded. Okay, great. Here's how I'm going to retool. I'm going to recalibrate, going to get my needs met at a very high level. I'm going to stay connected, stay healthy, give myself time for myself, continue to be juiced. And maybe there's a few things in my life that I will downplay for a bit. Like maybe the house will get a little bit dirtier, maybe I'll have to ask for help in areas that I don't normally ask for help. Maybe, whatever, I wear the same blouse twice, 2 days in a row, like whatever. Some of these things just fall to the wayside and you're probably doing a lot of that already. The point being is if you continue, and I did this for a long time, to put your life on hold in favor of your job, first of all, you'll never be able to get your arms around your job. ever, because you're just going to be in this constant state of depletion, depletion, depletion. Oh, a little bit of happiness, depletion, depletion, depletion. Like, oh, a little bit of happiness. Like that is a recipe for disaster. And we've been living that way for way too long. So we need to break that habit. It's wrong. It doesn't work. It's not effective. It's old fashioned. It's old school. I'm so glad that our forefathers did that. Good for them. It's over. That's just not how we are successful. That is not how we can be successful moving forward and have a high level of well-being and continue to be successful people. You just can't. Okay. So now what you have to do is you have to hack into the things that you really want, that biology. And then what happens is when you're doing that, how do you feel? I feel more in control. Oh, well, that's a good thing to feel when you're having a really busy work week, right? I feel more calm and relaxed. Well, that's kind of nice for decision making. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm doing these things that help me perform at a peak level, and I haven't adjusted my work schedule at all. Now, we can adjust the work schedule, and we don't have to work 80 hours a week all the time. And we'll talk about that later in another broadcast. But the point being is that I can have a very rich, yummy, glorious, fulfilling, lovely life and not have to control my hours or work a 9 to 5. That's the point, right? And we have clients doing it all the time. We have clients who are like, yeah, I'm an executive. I work 70 hours a week. Oh, great. Last week I worked 60. That was great. I pulled back 10 hours. Oh, wait, this week I'm working 75. All right. And then the following week, they might work 72. And then the following week, they might work, 65. And then they might have a week where they work 50. And then, okay, now we're back up to 70. And throughout this, expansion and contraction of hours, they're fulfilled. They're hanging out with their families. They're super involved with their kids. They're taking time off during the day to go to a basketball game, and then they're working a little bit more at night or whatever they have to do, right? Like they're living their lives because their job is a choice and they love their work. They just don't want their work to kill them anymore. And by killing them, it means your work is preventing you from having the life you want. That is a recipe for disaster. And I don't want you to live that way. I don't want anyone to live that way, right? So if this is resonating with you, if you are someone who is highly successful and you have not learned to operate at peak performance, I want you to watch our free training. Free training is 35, 40 minutes. Yes, you have time to invest in your career to learn everything that I'm teaching and these strategies so that you can start operating at peak performance. You can be in peak performance before you ever get control over that time piece, those hours. You want to be in peak performance. And then you're going to be much better equipped to start putting in the strategies required to navigate a career that's that powerful and take some time back when you need it. Does that make sense? So please watch one of those free trainings. It has been my delight.